If you've been bestowed with the greatest macro opportunity of all time, it's imperative that you not squander it by engaging in foolish behavior. You have access to $100 trillion, as I mentioned before. Before, that wasn't the case. And the more the price increases, the more things like FOMO pop up. For the time being, the fact that the value is growing is what matters to me. You are aware that my initial investment vehicles were dubbed 10T or 10 trillion, since in 2019, when the market cap was 300 billion, I estimated that the combined worth of all cryptocurrencies and equity was 300 billion. Also, 10 trillion would be my cautious goal over the next 5 to 10 years. At a fresh all-time high of $70,100 per coin, Bitcoin, the biggest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, has accomplished a tremendous feat. This is more than the previous high of $69,100, which was reached on Tuesday of this week. The past 7 days have been absolutely remarkable for Bitcoin. Not only did it hit a new all-time high twice in a row, but it has never done so before a major event like the halving. The surge above $70,000 is indicative of a price appreciation of 34.9% in the past 2 weeks and a remarkable 60.5% growth in the past month. Crypto asset prices in 2024 and beyond are projected to be extremely positive, according to Raoul, founder and CEO of Real Vision. Famous investor, macro analyst, and ex-Goldman Sachs executive Pal thinks there's a once-in-a-lifetime chance for people to get filthy rich investing in cryptocurrencies. With the world economy looking so bleak, he views it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When it comes to cryptocurrency, Pal sees nothing but good things happening in the near and distant future. He predicts a tenfold increase to $10 trillion for the business in the next years, with further expansion reaching an incredible $200 trillion. To his credit, Pal is not the only one who has made such extremely bullish forecasts. 10T Holdings CEO and managing partner Dan Tapiero thinks the same thing, predicting that the cryptocurrency market will hit $1 trillion in the next years. Like many of you, I've been on the hunt for a certain something throughout my investment career. Is the key that unlocks the door to a new life for you. Because we aren't the type to invest mindlessly. For the sake of realizing the future self-image, we put money into this venture. Now, there are instances when we fall short. However, failing to do so can leave you feeling like you've failed at something incredibly significant. Life was much simpler when I first began working here. The market was a fantastic place to be in the 90s. When volatility was low, similar to the Asian crisis, it was a crisis that could be traded. After it, there was the dot-com boom. It was possible to earn a tidy profit throughout these major macro events. I left the hedge fund business, where investors enjoyed healthy profits during that time. However, following that, returns on all items were severely reduced, especially after 2008. The way in which the reduction in global GDP growth trend rates influenced changes in risk-taking, investment opportunities, and expected returns due to changes in banking rules, what you discovered is that the anticipated profits from things like the stock market suddenly weren't satisfactory. The skyrocketing prices of goods and services, especially assets, have become an issue for everyone. Our salaries, however, have not increased by nearly the same amount. Those nearby properties have more than doubled in price, and you still haven't seen a corresponding increase in your wage. This is all a part of the bigger picture of our future as it stands now, shaped by the demographic crisis and the debt problems of the past. All of our opportunity sets have been destroyed, and the economy is now jammed up because of those. We must all discover a solution to this problem. One item, nevertheless, stood out to me as being fundamentally related to my future. Cryptography ended there. The importance of having a steady source of income, owning a business, and other similar endeavors, as well as setting and achieving objectives for one's lifestyle, is something I've previously discussed. However, you would also like the chance to gain an advantage and begin to outperform the game slightly. Cryptocurrency was the bomb that went off in my future. Apologies for the profanity, but if you don't mess this up, it will ruin a lot of your future. Don't fumble with the greatest macro chance that has ever been offered to you, else you might as well not have it at all. Remember to keep 80 or 90% of your money in your most important positions. Only the top 5 tokens should have those. After that, set up a degen bad for trading NFTs, FOMO, or major coins. While it is possible, it is not appropriate for your primary portfolio. Avoid taking the risk for the 100x. There are lots of ways to make money instead. Very few people are able to pull off those kinds of things. However, cryptocurrency is the most promising market. When it comes to risk-adjusted returns, it's far and away the biggest. The key to everything came to me at that moment. Listen, the previous high was 20,000 in 2017. It reached 60 when we shattered it. The new record was 69. Forget it, 60 is all we say. Right now, we've just surpassed 60. Going full circle is possible. It's happened 3 times. Tell me why that is. That's reasonable. In my opinion, 150 to 180 is a reasonable target, while 120 is a more conservative estimate that simply indicates Bitcoin is heading to as far as Bitcoin holders are concerned. That is not a major issue. For the time being, the fact that the value is growing is what matters to me. As you may be aware, I dubbed my initial investment funds 10T, short for 10 trillion. Because I estimated that in 2019, when the market cap reached 300 billion, I had calculated that the combined worth of all cryptocurrencies and assets was 300 billion. Also, in the following 5 to 10 years, I aim to achieve a 30x growth, which would put me at 10 trillion. That was my perspective. I thought to myself, and no one in the conventional world, including myself, would ever believe it. Am I correct? Therefore, I will just add that to my fund's name. And that's where it will stay put. In my opinion, there is still a lot of room for improvement here. If the price of Bitcoin were to rise from $60 to $120 and the price of Ethereum from $3,500 to $10,000, the total value of this ecosystem of digital assets would be more than $10 trillion. In my opinion, it has finally arrived at this stage. The number has reached 10 trillion. Here it is. On the other hand, there are some from the past who showed zero interest in what I had to say in 2019 and 2020. And, maybe at 21 they were intrigued, but by 22 or 23 it was all about fraud and everything in between. There are enough dollars, enough value, and enough individuals, in my opinion, up to $10 trillion. People are starting to delve more deeply into the space because of the network effect. So far, I haven't noticed any significant changes. We crashed through the ceiling, as I mentioned before. The option to go to 150,000 or 180,000 is at your fingertips. However, in all candor, I estimate that by 2025, around 18 to 24 months from now, the cycle will have reached the 10T level. It might now happen considerably more quickly. In addition, I want to leave myself a little leeway in case I'm mistaken about the price, in this case, extra time. In my opinion, that is quite logical. 300,000 is definitely within the realm of possibility, but 350 is the absolute maximum. Yeah, in my opinion, we won't receive more than 300 to 350 this cycle. In my opinion, that's probably going too far. People would probably start to think this has run too much at that point. By 2030, it might be worth that. But I fear it will be excessive, leading to people having too many embedded games. The sole supply, as previously mentioned, is the absence of a supply reaction. People will trade their Bitcoin for material objects such as houses, cars, or other goods and services because the only way for more supply to enter the market is for people to elect to sell.